So I got slightly triggered by this statement made by a video game analyst very recently. He basically said, guys, that The Elder Scrolls 6 is coming in 2019. So he says that the flop of Fallout 76 makes a hit more essential for Bethesda, and I expect them to accelerate development on The Elder Scrolls 6. So, let's take a little look at this statement, because so many people are making articles about this, going, oh my god, The Elder Scrolls 6 is coming out in 2019. Stop it, it's not. And this, by the way, guys, is coming from Michael Patchter, who is the industry analyst we're talking about, who made this very bold statement. And he's quite well known for making these sweeping statements about this or that happening when it's not really got anything to stand on in terms of evidence to back it up. For example, he predicted, I believe, that Skyrim would come out in 2016, but obviously it released in 2011. So that gives you an idea of how outlandish some of these predictions are. Obviously, sometimes he is right and he does get lucky, and I suppose to an extent he knows what he's talking about. But in this regard, I wanted to make this video because I just think this statement is complete BS, and he doesn't know what he's talking about in that regard. Now, obviously, I think it's a given that whether or not you like Fallout 76, it was a complete flop for Bethesda with only 800,000 concurrent players and even only 400,000 copies sold on the PlayStation 4, as I told you in my previous video. I'll link that down below if you want to know how I got those numbers. But the game just didn't sell very well, and obviously there were lots of bugs. The reviews were very disappointing, and I think it's, on the industry trend of releasing a AAA title before it's even finished to get those sales in and then fixing the game while it's out. And if you look at the video game stock market in general, you can see that all the big AAA publishers that are doing this are making consumers lose trust, and that's why I think the stock market is currently crashing. So yes, with Fallout 76 being the flop it was, obviously we can expect Bethesda to be extremely careful with what they're releasing next, because they want it to be a success. People are investing in these games and funding Bethesda, so the most important people to them is not the consumers, us, it's that their investors are happy and see a return on their money. So to see Fallout 76 sell so badly compared to, the amount of money that was invested in it, and to do so badly in terms of the reviews, well, it just doesn't look good for Bethesda right now. And obviously we're thinking, well, their saving grace is going to be their most well-known IP, the Elder Scrolls series. So, this person thinks that it's coming out in 2019. Obviously, anyone who watches the channel knows that's not going to be the case. And if this person knows anything about game development cycles, they would know that this game just wouldn't be ready even if they crunched it in a year. I still don't think they could get it ready. And even if they did, and lo and behold, they released it, they'd have the exact same problem that Fallout 76 had. So I think it would probably be the worst decision to rush The Elder Scrolls 6 at this point. But I can see where Michael is coming from when he says that Bethesda do need to pull something out of the hat here to impress investors. Now, we haven't heard anything about The Elder Scrolls Blades in a while, which is a free-to-play mobile game. And if you look at Fallout Shelter and how well that did, being the best-selling app on the market and probably making tons of money for Bethesda as a free-to-play mobile game, well, I think that that's probably going to be what we see releasing quite soon this year, because in the pipeline, apart from Starfield, which we've been told by Bethesda, that will be releasing earlier for The Elder Scrolls 6, and that's their new single-player RPG that we can play in the meantime. And we know for a fact, because of the trademark that was posted a long time ago, that this game, Starfield, has been in development for a very long time now. And in terms of Bethesda's internal development cycle, we're probably going to see that first, because that's going to be in a more finished state. Even then, though, it is a new IP, and part of me is a little bit worried for Bethesda in that sense, because Fallout 76 was such a flop that I think a lot of their fans, and especially, all the controversy surrounding Fallout 76 and the merchandise around it and so on, have lost trust in Bethesda as a company. And now it's really a bad time to release a new IP, I think. But, Personally, I'm thinking, well, it's a single-player game. I know that's what Bethesda do best. They don't do online games, very obviously. If you're enjoying Fallout 76, fair enough, good for you. But personally, I felt it was lacking in many regards compared to their other titles. So I think The Elder Scrolls Blade is what we're going to see next. And it was actually meant to release in the fall of 2018, which was last year. And it's long overdue for its release. I wouldn't be surprised, if at E3 or another gaming convention coming up, maybe towards fall later this year or something, Bethesda do a gameplay of their new IP Starfield, and they also talk about the Elder Scrolls Blades, because apart from that, they don't really have a ton going on this year that I can think of. And when I previously spoke about Starfield, I did say that 2019 will be the earliest we see it, and if they're going to push the production of anything, I think it would be Starfield. But even then, they've got to be very careful in how they release these games and that they are finished and high quality, because they cannot rush it out like they did Fallout 76. We saw the buggy mess that was, and that it just was not ready to be released to the public, but they pushed it for that Christmas release, and that's what happens, So don't make the same mistake again, Bethesda. And guys, in terms of the Elder Scrolls release date, I've got a whole video talking about this subject, talking about where it's going to be based, and also the trademark that was published called Redfall, and what that relates to in the Elder Scrolls 6 environment, exactly where the game's going to be based, and so on. I'll link that video down below in the description for you guys to watch if you're interested. I just wanted to make this quick video to let you guys know the Elder Scrolls 6 is coming out in 2019. I don't know what this guy is smoking. He always makes these outlandish statements, and I think sometimes, it's more that one or two of his statements are intentionally outlandish, so he gets publicity and people and media outlets, draw attention to him, and in that sense, it's a very good marketing scheme because I'm doing what he wants. But I wanted to put, a lot of people have been messaging me on Twitter, and I wanted to say, I'm 99% sure it's not going to come out in 2019. And if it does, we should all be very, very worried. But guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to be doing some awesome Skyrim mod playthroughs, including Beyond Skyrim, which I just did a video on, so you can check that out, linked down below in the description. While you're waiting for the Elder Scrolls 6, Beyond Skyrim is an amazing mod to check out in the meantime. And we're going to be doing lots of awesome Skyrim mod playthroughs in the coming months. And also, I'm going to be doing tutorials on how to mod your game. And you can check out my website for a full tutorial on how to mod Skyrim and bring it up to the 2019 standards. I'll link that down below for you as well, guys. But thanks very much for watching me, ESO, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a fantastic day, and goodbye.